Be fun. I'm going to get to talk about foreign affairs in this video and the next one. This one's going to be about Rex Tillerson. You know, we've taken the position, I still take the position, of course. The president-elect has the right to pick pretty much whoever he wants in the cabinet. It's his cabinet, and the cabinet only reacts to him. It's not like generally that cabinet members can do whatever they want to do, though it may be a little bit different here. He may just give people a lot of power and just have them check in with him. But in this situation, we're talking about Secretary of State Rex Tillerson from ExxonMobil. There's a little concern. Look, he could use who he wants. The man seems to be very smart. You got people like Bill Gates saying he'll be a good Secretary of State. Condi Rice, Bill Gates. A couple other people that they were talking about who seem to be, on both sides of the spectrum, left and right. So maybe he'll be okay. The problem is that it appears that this guy's focus really has just always been a lot of oil and a lot of Putin. And, the Putin is the thug, as we call him. And, we may be starting to get into this Machiavellian type of situation where, and we talked about this before, and I just think it's becoming more and more obvious, that it's just going to be, there's not going to be one overarching of foreign policy on behalf of President-elect Trump. It's all going to be, let's make a deal. So he's going to have probably the Secretary of State make a deal with Russia to deal with this and that. Let's use the example really is what he's talking about with Taiwan. He wants to get rid of the one China policy. The policy, of course, that we've lived with I think 40 some years, where we recognize the mainland China as China and Taiwan as part of China and not as separate, even though Taiwan is an island. Formosa had other names as time went on. So Taipei. So now Trump, the president-elect, says, hey, what kind of a deal are we going to make? Why should I agree to one China if there's no deal to be made? So all of a sudden it becomes like, let's make a deal. So what the concern I've got is you see this, you don't see him taking his foreign policy briefings and security briefings, which I think is important. He's going to be he wants to be a chairman of the board. He wants to be a hands-on CEO. He's got to know this stuff. He can't just kind of pick it up and make a decision when somebody throws an idea at you and says, hey, what are we going to do? We're going to bomb one of these bases in the South China Sea that we've always talked about. It just doesn't work that way. You would think that because he's going to be a chairman of a board overseeing everything, he'd want to be able to have a lot more knowledge. He just doesn't have much knowledge in foreign affairs. So to him, it's just going to be a matter of jumping here, making a deal with Russia, making a deal with China, making a deal here, making a deal there. I hope I'm wrong. Because when that starts happening, you have a disjointed type of an effect. And these deals have effects upon other parties who are not part of the deal. And it starts changing everything. And meanwhile, you have all these geopolitical changes, and you don't have one theory or view about the way the world should be. Except that, America should get everything for free and cheap and just be the greatest country in the world. I have no problem with that, but it just can't work that way. Be the greatest country in the world, of course it can. But everything else, there has to be some give and take. And it just can't be in trade. You got to understand where you're going. Because if suddenly this trade deal doesn't work and he has it out with Putin, what's going to go on here? We're going to have just two tough guys going at it. It's a little bit disconcerting. And as we've said, Trump is, as we said in our video before he's president-elect, Trump is the black swan. So I'm very concerned, but let's see where it goes. He's entitled to Rex Tillerson. Let's see what we do. Hopefully the Senate will do their thing and look into him. And then let's just see where we go with this. Just understand we got a little concern. Foreign policy is where the problem's going to be. Not domestic policy. It's going to be foreign policy. Peace.